Hey, morning traders. How are you? Welcome to another session of Market Snapshot. We are glad that you're joining in. Please say hello as you join in. And today's on a Wednesday, and we expect to see some CPI news coming out. Numbers didn't play out yesterday as expected. And so we saw the reaction of the market. We saw the weak dollar playing out. And so today we now have the core CPI and also month-on-month CPI and the year-on-year. So what we need to look at is this data over here. So we have the forecast, which is what traders are expecting. You know, this is the anticipation of traders and or investors, right? They're expecting the number to be as per last month. Okay, so 0.3, 0.3, so there isn't much of a change. So if this number changes, then let's say to 0.4%, then we could see a very strong dollar coming in. And then if you look at the CPI month on month, the expected number is 0.4, right? 0.4%. And so if the number comes out higher than this, of course, we expect also to see the dollar strengthening. Now, this is where traders are expecting that inflation has gone up, right? Because last month it was 2.7%. So the traders are expecting that this number will be 2.9%. And so if this number comes out maybe 3% or maybe lower, then if it comes out 3% or 2.9, we could see a strong dollar. If this number comes out lower than this, let's say 2.8 or even 2.7, then we could see the dollar further weakening. However, there's something that we need to look at now that we expect Trump to come on board on 20th after inauguration in the next 5 days. Trump is someone, even investors are shaky about him because he comes with some uncertainty in the market, right? So if you look at this article, we will see it has seemed like nothing could stop the US dollar from marching higher. Then a headline about President-elect Donald Trump's tariff plans landed in traders' newsfeed, and suddenly all bets were off. So traders are expecting that with his policies. Some are saying that it's part of negotiations. You know how he's reaching out to some countries. It's part of Trump playing hardball. Okay, but then again. We could see a place where the dollar zagged higher once again when Trump denied some reports after adding a post on his social media, Truth Social. But some market watchers say the chaotic price action might offer an early glimpse at what could be in store for the markets with the Trump presidency, not just the currency market, but stocks and bonds, as Trump's second term in White House begins on 20th. Okay, but the market is optimistic. However, you can't rule out the fact that Trump is looking at America first. So we could see a lot of dollar strength coming in. And so we could see a further tanking of GBP, USD, Euro USD, gold, right? So that's something that as traders we need to be wary of. I got to experience Trump's presidency in 2016. 2020. I just started live trading in 2015. When Trump joined in 2016, markets were not the same. Like a simple tweet will just make the market go haywire, right? So we expect that to come back, right? So just like the move in yields, the dollar strength isn't only being driven by expectations surrounding Trump's policy agenda, although that is certainly a factor, right? So a strong dollar is something that the market is kind of like taking in. There's a possibility that we could see a strong dollar, and that will actually attract foreign investors into the US, because remember, Trump has given even an offer that anyone who brings in an investment of $1 billion will be facilitated. So we could see this policy by Trump playing towards the dollar. Now, where does that leave the Fed? Okay, because we know when inflation keeps going up, then the work of the Fed is to rein on inflation, right? So that prices, inflation is basically steady increase in prices in prices of goods and services. So today a loaf of bread was 65, next month it's 70. That is not sustainable, right? So the Fed has to look at currently we are in rate cuts, right? And we're expecting next year to have more rate cuts. But then again, it all depends on the policies by Trump, and that could eventually at some point in time could lead to stopping the rate cuts and could now lead to actually a raise in the rate cuts to rein in on inflation, just in case inflation becomes a monster for the US economy. So we really need to look out for that. And with time, we should have a better understanding of Trump's presidency. But once again, he comes with that uncertainty, like I've said, that just a simple tweet will just look at what he's been saying, that he wants to, Canada to join the US. Who would have expected that to come from a US president? Right? There's the whole thing of buying Greenland, So all these things are these are things that we should expect. So let's see. Look, if you look at this article, longer periods of higher US rates and a strong dollar usually entice US investors to stay home rather than take more risk investing abroad. So you see, they would rather take part in the US economy. Right, and this is what Trump mostly wants: more investments in the country, more jobs created, and stability with the America First. So let's see how that plays out later. So if we go to these indicators, we will see the inflation rate. It was last 2.7. We've seen investors are saying that it should be 2.9, but then again, we will see how that plays out. Inflation rate month on month, 0.3 last month. So traders this time around are saying should be 0.4. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, so remember, interest rates are still at 4.5, and the next time we should be having these, according to FedWatch, the next FOMC should be in the next 14 days, right? So that's when Fed will come in, and let's see what guys will be looking at. Guys are saying that the numbers will still remain the same, right? 97.3%, that there will be no further rate cuts. The expectation is that it will be in September this year. But then again, let's see how that plays out. Traders, our work is to react to some of these news, right? Because they could take you in as a shocker. So make sure that you're observing risk management in your trades so that you're not caught flat-footed. Let me be honest with you. With Trump's presidency, if you're not observing risk management, well, it will be a tough one for you, right? Because of his uncertainty. A simple tweet, boom, the markets go wild. So just utilize the risk management tools. Lot size, that means you should use the right lot size for your account, and then also a stop loss, right? Don't go for mental stop loss this time around. Anything could go. When it comes to Trump, anything goes. So that's a heads up for everyone who's trading the Trump's presidency. So let's now go to our charts and try and understand where we are and see whether we can see potential moves in major currencies, gold and Nasdaq. So please shoot your questions as we wait for these to play out. As I share my screen. Okay, so earlier on I had an analysis on GU. I wanted it to come to this area, and you can see some form of resistance playing out. So let's remove everything over here and map out GU. What do you expect to see on GBP USD? So go to higher time frames. We can see due to the strong dollar, what has been playing out, GU has been weak. And so Let's see whether we can see maybe some bit of a bullish push before a continuation of the shorts. I want to map out last year's low as a possible area of resistance there. Go to lower time frames, map out maybe this order block over here. Then go to H1. So if I were to look for opportunities on GU, I'll be looking at a possible bullish push. So remember, once again, this is purely educational analysis, right? This is purely educational analysis. So I'm looking at maybe price coming back to test. There's a possibility it could still come here. But then again, I would probably want to see the Asian low as more of an area of support before having this bullish push. So I would want to see that trade player. Yeah, so we could see price come back to this area before continuing with the bullish, with the push. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that will be the analysis on GU. Let's see how that plays out as we go into CPI later in the afternoon during New York session at 4:30. Now let's look at Euro USD. So Euro USD, go to higher time frames to have a feel of where we are. To have a feel of where we are currently. So let's see. Let's look at possible areas of resistance or support. So in this part, you can see an interesting pattern that has played out here. This will be considered to be this could be considered to be a pattern, a morning star. In most cases, when you see a morning star, then it could be, a bullish move. But then again, remember, once again, it's the dollar that is calling the shots currently. So we just need to have that in mind, right? So I will to look at this trade. Just like GU, I'll probably want to see a bearish push before taking on any bullish move. So let me consider this price level over here. That's an order block over there that could act as an area of resistance. So if I were to look for trades, I would probably want to see a bearish push on Euro USD and then maybe a bullish one. Just like we've seen on GU, probably this trade to come down. As you can see, it's already playing out. Maybe get to this price level, or even this one. GU is more volatile as compared to Euro USD. So we could see GU get to either, it could even come down to this price level. Over here, Yeah, the Asian law. So that could also play out. So let's see how Euro USD reacts to this price level, and then maybe we can take a bullish push on Euro USD. Let's look at another major. In this case, let's look at USD-CHF. USD-CHF has been playing out quite well. So let's see where we are. Look at this bearish that has been playing out courtesy of the weak dollar from Monday, right? Especially during London session. If we go to higher time frames, I'm still expecting a bullish USD CHF. Maybe if USD CHF was to come to that high, which was last year's high, okay? This was last year's high. That's an area probably that you could identify as an area of resistance. So in this case, I'm still bullish on USD CHF. However, I would want to see some bearish push first. So I'm identifying some possible areas of support. We can see price has been operating on the moving average, the 50 EMA and the 800, and of course the 200 and the 800. So I'm trying to identify an area of support, and I will probably go with this one, this order block over here. So I would probably want to see that bullish push once again to that order block before a continuation of the downward push. And then later, that's when probably you can see a bullish push, right? So that will be the analysis on USD-CHF. And then let's look at Audi USD. For those who have some level of patience, you can trade Audi USD. So go to higher time frames. We want to identify areas of support. So we can see clearly Audi USD hit the lows of 2022. Yeah, so that was that support over there. So just like we've seen on these other pairs, I would want to see a bullish push on Audi USD. But then I would want it to test maybe the Asian low before going up. So a bearish push maybe to this low would probably now send Audi USD up. And the area I would be interested to see it test would probably be this neckline over here for around 50 pips. Yeah, so that's what I would want to see maybe on Audi USD. Okay, let's look at USD CAD. So USD CAD, let's go to higher time frames to have a clear understanding of where we are. We can see a very strong resistance that has been playing out over here. So I will still want to see USD CAD push downwards. I will want to see these bears come to this area, which is last week's low. This is the low of last week. So I would want to see how USD CAD reacts to that low. That will be an interesting play. But for now, let's see. I would want to see this bullish push to test that Asian high. And then maybe you could see some bear 83 pips push to the downside. Sorry, I realized there's a problem. Are you guys able to see my screen? Okay, you guys can see my screen. I would want to know where you guys are not able to see the analysis. Sorry guys, there was a technical hitch somewhere. But I can maybe GU. We didn't see your charts on GU, or the first 3 charts that you shared. Mercy, thank you for that. I can let me go back to them. Let's go back to GU. So sorry, that was a technical hitch on our end. So this was the analysis I shared earlier, that I'm looking for a bearish push before a continuation of the bullish push, and I'm looking at GU coming down to test the Asian low. Okay, so the Asian low is an area where I would want to see GU come to, but then again, I've said GU being volatile, we could see GU come down to test this area also. This is also a possible area that GU could come to before maybe taking a bullish push, right? And I said one of the areas that we could be looking at as possible take profit targets is yesterday's high, right? This area over here. This could act as a possible take profit area on GU, right? So our work is to wait and see whether GU will be bearish to either this price level or to 2158. Okay, those are 2 areas where we could see GU come to before maybe taking on the bullish push. Remember, once again, we have CPI. I'm sure you guys were able to see the analysis on CPI, not unless, of course, there was also a problem there, but I'm sure you guys were able to see that. So we could probably now see that bearish push coming in before a bullish push playing out. So this short is playing out as per my earlier analysis. Let's wait and see how price reacts to this price level, and then if it breaches this area of support, then it could definitely come here and see how it reacts to that price level. Remember, before you take a trade, have further confirmations. Like, for example, if we see a morning star when price gets here, or maybe see a hammer, right, a close of a hammer, then that could give us maybe more information that indeed buyers are coming in strong, and maybe now we could see that bullish push coming in. Okay, so that was GU. I also looked at Euro USD, and I said we are looking for a bearish push on Euro USD before a continuation of the bullish push, right? And so the analysis was this one. We looked at a possible test of the moving average, right, before a continuation of that bullish push. And the bullish push over here is on H4. We identified there's a possible area of resistance courtesy of this order block over here. Okay, so another area that Euro USD could spike to is that price level. So we have 2 areas, right? So there's a possibility it could come to this moving average, and then there's a possibility it could also drop to this other moving average, this order block over here before pushing up. So all these are areas of support, and the best way to identify the entry would probably be now the candlesticks the candlestick patterns that form on the moving average or the candlestick patterns that will form here, right? So if a bullish candlestick pattern forms here, then that will be a confirmation that we are about to be bullish, right? If that is breached and we see a bullish candlestick pattern here, a hammer, a bullish engulfing, a morning star, or a bullish tweezers, then that would give us some level of confirmation that you're looking for a bullish move. So let's see how those trades play out. And then I also looked at USD CHF and I said we are looking for, sorry, that's euro, that's still euro USD. USD CHF, I said we are looking for a bullish push to a possible order block over here. We could also see some moving average playing out over there. So if this price maybe goes up there, remember I'm a strong believer in identifying areas where you seek high or sell. In this case, you'll be selling high, right? So I wouldn't want to sell at this price level. I would want to see this market test this high before now maybe deciding whether to take a sell trade. But then once again, once price gets here, what will determine my entry will be a confirmation of a candlestick pattern. So I would want to see maybe a shooting star. I would want to see bearish engulfing. I would want to see an evening star. I would want to see bearish tweezers play out at around that possible area of resistance. Remember, this is a possible area of resistance. It could easily be breached. So that's why I'm waiting for those confirmations. If I see those confirmations, then that will be my signal that this trade is indeed going short. The sellers have stepped in. So that is the analysis on USD CHF. I think now we are good. The other trade we were looking at was Audi USD, and I say just like we've seen on GBP USD, Euro USD, I'm still looking for this short. I want to buy low, right? Remember, in trading, you don't just buy anywhere. You have clearly defined areas. And if you've been attending, for those who've been attending the mentorship session from 11 to 12 that is currently ongoing with my colleague from Tanzania, Prudence. Shout out to Prudence. We normally train you guys how to identify sweet spots, right? Areas where you enter buys, areas where you enter sells, right? So it's the same thing that we are applying here. We are applying the same training we offer in those sessions. And so one of the areas you could identify a possible entry will be on this Asian low, which is the lowest price during Asian session. So you could see this price come back down here to test this low before taking on a bullish push. But then again, like I've said, your entry will be based on the candlestick patterns you identify. If you're able to see a morning star, a bullish engulfing, a hammer, a bullish tweezers, then that could give you some level of confidence. Then I also pointed out that there's a possibility that we could see also Audi USD. Audi USD could also test the low of 2022. This low I had mapped out over here. So that's a possibility that it could come down to 61.70. That's like 10 pips shy from our current entry price. So that's also a possibility that as a trader you need to identify. So your confirmations once again will play out when it comes to those trades, right? And those confirmations are more of price action, candlestick patterns. They are more of a footprint. They'll tell you where the market is going. Okay, great. Now let's look at USD card. We just analyzed your USD card and we said we were looking for a bullish push, a possible bullish push to the high, to this high over here, and then maybe we can see that bullish push playing out. So maybe after the market tests this high, the Asian high, then maybe we can look at sells. But then again, we could also see USD card move to the moving average. The moving average is also a dynamic resistance in this case. So we could see price push to that moving average. As you can see from the past, you can see the moving average here, the 200 acting as support, dynamic support. You can see it acting as dynamic resistance here, resistance over here, right? So the same thing could play out. We could see USD CAD push to the moving average, the 50 EMA, before maybe taking on a bearish push. Once again, the candlestick patterns that will play out once price gets here will determine whether this area is a strong resistance, right? Awesome. And the target is last week's low. I think I had outlined that we are targeting this low. And then, which happens to be coincidentally, we also have a moving average, the 200 moving average there, that could act as dynamic support. Okay. So let's see how those trades play out. The other major currency we can look at, so let's just look at UT100. UT100. Okay. So let's go to higher time frames. Have a rundown on how it's performing. Interesting. So we can see what looks like a shooting star pattern over here. Could this signify that we're about to see some dips on UT100? So I would want to map out my support levels starting from the higher time frame. So what I've just mapped out is a possible order block there, and then go to the weekly and try and identify also possible areas of support that we could see this particular asset UT100 come to. That's the weekly. Go to H4. So on the daily, we could see a possible moving average. Then now go to lower time frames. So if I were to look for opportunities on UT100, I'll be looking at short opportunities, right? I'm looking at sales on UT100. However, I would still want to see UT100 probably come back and test these highs. Maybe last week's high, sorry, yesterday's high. So I would probably want to see a bullish push to probably that level. So last week's high was this one. Sorry, yesterday's high was that price level, but then I have found a stronger one, which is on the daily, which was the moving average. So the moving average looks to be more, would be a more solid resistance as compared to yesterday's high. Excuse me. My apologies. Sorry. So after that, then maybe we could now look for sell opportunities on UT100. It's from then on that I would probably take a sell on UT100. And probably my take profits will be one, the low of the week, which was set up on Monday, and also on that moving average. Those are two areas that I would want to see UT100 get to Nasdaq, right? So that will be my analysis. Any question? Let's have a look at your questions. Once again, remember there's something that is, remember last year we had free trading masterclass tours. And so we proceed with the same this year. What's your take on GBP Audi? I will have a look at it. So this year we start off with Eldoret. So on 24th, I will be in Eldoret. Also, we are coming to Kakamega on 7th February. We'll be coming to Kakamega. So anyone from Kakamega here, or you have someone in Kakamega, please let us know if where you would want us to come, right? Then 2 weeks later after that, 21st, we are coming to Thika. So I remember my Thika guys, I was there. And so let's see how that plays out. So let's look at, someone has requested that we analyze GA, GBP Audi. So I've just identified a possible support area courtesy of that 800 EMA. So we can see a strong sell. We can see this was a pretty bullish, solid resistance that has played out. We can see 1, 2, 3. So there's a possibility that we could see some bearish push on Audi USD. But then maybe I would want to see Audi USD test yesterday's high before taking a sell. That would be a possible area where I would want to see you GA go to. So I would only take a trade on GA once it gets here. I would want to sell high, right? That will be my analysis on my educational analysis on GA. Kindly review gold. Melvin, we've just had a look at gold, haven't we? Oh my goodness, not yet. Oh, I was so sure we've looked. Sorry for that. So let's look at gold. Okay. Remember, we've been looking at possibilities of going long on GU, EU, GU, EU, AU. So the same thing apply in this case on gold. I'll still be bullish because I'm still expecting a weak dollar. However, as we go into CPI, we could see a different data playing out. So I would probably want to see gold test the highs, last week's high, and also the weekly high. So the weekly high is the highest price in the week, which was set up on Monday, right? So this high is a possible area where I would want to see gold go to. In terms of entry, what would I want to see? You can see what I'm saying in terms of moving averages. Like, for example, in this trade, the 800 EMA acted as support, right? And you can see after that push, gold is up how many pips? 273 pips, right? Courtesy of the moving average. So if you know how to use the moving average well, then you'll definitely maximize on it. There's a possible resistance here. Actually, that is what I've, oops, it has hit that possible resistance, which was, we can see this order block here that has acted as resistance. So if I were to look for opportunities on GU, I would still look, sorry, on gold, I would want to see a bearish push and then a bullish move. So let's look at lower time frames. Yeah, if we were to see gold come down here, then I would probably take that bullish push. So I would still want to see this retrace, this pullback, and then take a buy on gold. That's it. Dow Jones, US30. So let's go to higher time frames. So what happened is, remember, for those who've been attending our classes, one of the areas you would identify as a possible area of support is last month's low, right? So this is the low of November. Was it hit in December? No. And even this January, Dow Jones is yet to hit that low. So if I were to look for opportunities, let's see. H4, last week's high. And now go to lower time frames. Okay, so I'd probably want to see a bullish push. If Dow Jones was to test yesterday's low, then I'll be looking for buys. If Dow Jones was to make a downward push, and then I would want to buy it at that low. To that high, last week's high. That will be my educational analysis on USD JPY. That will it looks tempting to buy. It looks tempting to buy US30 at this price level, but then I don't have a reason as to why. I don't have one. So I would want to see US30 come down either to the moving averages or even yesterday's low. This will remember, it's all about having an edge. You don't take all trades. However, you can take a certain trade and give you a level of confidence that it will play out. Okay. So let's look at the final one, USD JPY. USD JPY. Sorry, we are back. Some network issues. Okay, so USD JPY, let's finalize with this one. Where are we? Go to higher time frames to have a better understanding of the current market conditions. So if I were to look for opportunities on USD JPY, I would probably want to see a bullish push before taking a bearish move on it. Okay, and this is an area, last week's low will be an area probably I would want to see USD JPY test. So my analysis on USD JPY will be looking for a bullish push, and then from there maybe I can take on a sell. That's it. Otori. Once again, recap. Next week we are coming to Eldoret. Comfy in. Make sure that you register. Go to FX Pesa social media handles on bio. Just click and just register for that event. 2 weeks later, we'll be in Kakamega on 7th, and then on 21st, we'll be in Thika. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you for your time. Let's be cautious. Maximize on your risk management, especially now that you're getting into Trump's presidency. Trust you me, a simple tweet from him will just rain chaos in the market. At least that was my experience when he was the president 2016, 2020. And back then I was still a newbie, right? Especially the first 2 years before the market priced in. So it's always good that you take note of your capital. Capital preservation is your key so that you're able to trade next time when an opportunity plays out, right? So make sure that you're using risk management. Okay, thank you for your time. Cheers. See you. Bye-bye.